Listen in the podcast.
Hunger, pain, and darkness. After your family fell into poverty, food and hope became scarce. But one option still remained: child labor. Hello, curious listener. Welcome to today's episode of Nightmare Fuel, where we will dive into the argument of which job was the worst for young workers that were forced to take part in child labor. I'm your host, Paige Barlow, here with today's two guests, Michaela Connor and Jaxton Wilson, ready to debate. First up, we have Jaxton Wilson talking about meal scavengers.
Thank you, Paige. Now think of a world where many kids had to go under active machinery just to get some that could rip off limbs, heads, or even hands. That's what happened in the Victorian era for meal scavengers. I believe out of the five worst jobs in the Victorian era, meal scavenger was the worst job. My first reason is that you had to crawl under active machinery to go get some cotton scraps. Secondly, it was very common to get cancer from the horrible air under those machines and inside of the building. Lastly, when you were under the machines, it was common to get your hair ripped out, limbs, and even hands ripped off. That there is why being a meal scavenger was the worst job in the Victorian era. Thank you, and back to you, Paige.
Thank you, Jackson, for informing us about mule scavengers. Mule scavenger sounds like a terrifying job for children, but can Michaela's job? She chose be worse? Let's listen to what Michaela has to say about chimney sweeps.
Hello, dear valued guests, and thank you, Paige, for this splendid introduction. I would be honored to explain and tell you on why I believe that the Victorian child labor job, commonly known as the chimney sweep, was the worst job. Firstly, these small, innocent, poor boys would usually be adopted from the streets. Can you imagine getting taken away from your family? Secondly, they would be forced down small, claustrophobic chimneys. Sometimes they would even light a fire under you to cause you to go faster. Thirdly, if you were to survive being shoved down a chimney, you would still have a higher chance of cancer causing your demise. Lastly, you had a good chance of getting stuck in a chimney, forcing another kid to try to rescue you, but it would often fail, causing you to both perish suffocatingly. In conclusion, being a chimney sweep was the worst job, but what do you guys think?
Thank you both for joining me today to discuss the terrifying topic of child labor during the 1800s, and thank you, listener, for taking the time to learn and listen. Now I hope that your journey for answers about the past has not ended, but has been inspired to continue.